I just wanted to make a quick little video on just reviewing PCX, I guess, because I have some thoughts. I only played PCX recently, like the 23rd, 22nd, whatever. Yeah, I think the 23rd, like last night. I did say some things in the Discord. No one really cared, but he feels very clunky to use in the short time I use him, and just from watching gameplay. Big gripe I have is just the use of the jump ability, because what you end up doing is just spamming it constantly, and it doesn't feel really satisfying. It just kind of feels annoying, and I don't see the point of having this thing where I need to rely on jumping constantly to keep stamina when I could just have more stamina in the first place. Especially since the jump isn't useful, like for its actual jumping ability. Like, it is cool dodging Doomfist Gauntlet or whatever, and I'm sure once they add more stuff like that that can like attack monsters or whatever, it'll be more useful. But besides that, I mean, I haven't really played on any maps that have a lot of verticality, but you know, not a lot of maps have that in the first place, so it's not super useful, but they want to make it more useful, which I get. You don't want it to feel useless, and it's just extremely situational, but the way they went about it with the stamina regeneration just makes it feel annoying, and you just kind of look like an idiot bouncing around like that. I think it'd be better if he just had more balanced, like more stamina, and maybe make the jump some kind of attack, like, I don't know, like a homing attack, you know, like Sonic. Maybe it could be something like MX, where you have to press some kind of button to dodge it or something as a survivor. Maybe it just locks onto whoever's closest, or maybe it locks onto whoever you're like looking at, you know, like if your body is turned towards someone. Maybe even a spin dash, so make the jump its own thing, make it so it doesn't do the stamina regeneration, but have like a spin dash so you can get around the map faster when you're near people and you can't make use of You Can't Run. Anyways, I think Found You is fine. I think it's in a good place now. I don't think it needs any changes really. It's completely fine how it is. And of course, my big issue is Final Act. Final Act is just kind of a waste of time in more ways than one. You'd expect Final Act to be like a way to finish someone off, but it takes too much time to do that, when in reality you could just easily kill them in the time it takes to go hunt them down. Like, yeah, it is technically more engaging now, but it's even more of a time waster than the original version. I do think it's a good idea to make it more engaging, because, you know, the original version was pretty lame, and basically it's just like, oh, if you have like no stamina, you die, and if you have stamina, you win. That's it. I think if they made the obstacle course simpler and maybe made it so you get more time added on, because that's the other thing. That's the other way it wastes time. It takes so long to kill someone that you're wasting precious seconds when you could easily kill them in that allotted time, and probably more people. And like I said, it does not add nearly enough time to the timer itself to make it worth using at all in any case. I just don't really know how they could rework it besides making the obstacle course much simpler, because right now it's just kind of ridiculously complicated and way too tight. I don't know. It's engaging, but it's not fun, you know? Like, yeah, I have to move around things now, but it's not really interesting. Someone did say a very interesting idea. I think it was on one of Nix's community posts, where he was talking about PCX or whatever. But they basically said, instead of referencing hide and seek, Tails level where you just run away, it could reference You Can't Run. Instead of having the whole running segment, you'd have it so instead they're sent to his world and they're surrounded by a bunch of copies of PCX, and they have to pick the right one or they take damage, and it's on a time limit or something. Like, the time runs out, they take damage. Basically, each time you pick one of the wrong copies, one of the fakes, another fake gets removed, they reset positions, change animations, and you have to pick another one. I think that's pretty cool. I think you could do a lot of that, like, you know, of course you can reference all the funny animations he does in the remake of sonic.exe. And I think a good way, instead of just having to be a guessing game, there could be a slight subtle tell to which one's the real one. Like maybe, you know, they all use the same animation, but one of them is slightly off. Like it's a little bit quicker or a little bit faster, or maybe it's like the same animation, but if it was mirrored. It could be really anything. It could even be like, I don't know, like a slight color difference, like the real one is brighter than the fakes or something by like a slight amount or something. And it still keeps the whole thing of now how he sort of splits into two entities now as a reference to his lore. But instead, I think whenever you send someone to this, you know, Knuckles type thing, you are the one still on the map while your copy is the one doing the whole funny Knuckles segment. The only problem I see with this is just the fact they would have to get rid of the current final act entirely, which has a lot of work put into it, and I just think that'd be a big shame. They could at least keep the scenery, sort of. They don't have to make it like the scary scrap brain zone from You Can't Run, but even then the Knuckles thing wouldn't be the best, because, you know, it would kind of be like Uncle Sam's Nice Domain, but instead of with Uncle Sam's being able to go to that domain yourself and potentially kill someone, you're just kind of leaving it up to chance / the skill of the player instead of your own skill. That can be a flaw. Some other notes, maybe just because I haven't played on big enough maps, but I feel like You Can't Run is not a great passive. I wish the radius it had to make you stop flying or whatever, I wish it was a little bit smaller, because I rarely see it ever used, and and you basically just like never see it when you're on like smaller maps. Other than that, I think PCX is pretty cool. Of course, he has a lot of work put in just to the visuals, the audio, everything. He's got a pretty great model. Like, I like his model a lot. The voice acting is incredible. This is kind of a nitpick, but I will say it's kind of hard to tell that it's two voice actors. I can't tell if they swap between lines, because it doesn't sound like that. I'm imagining it's probably they're overlaid on top of each other, but to me, it's just not clear enough that there's two guys. It just sounds like regular sonic.exe. Maybe I'm not paying attention enough, but personally, I think it would have been better if it was something like the Vengeful Spirits, like, voice lines in Ultimate Custom Night. You can sort of hear them whispering, sort of delayed underneath the actual character's voice they're speaking through. You could do something similar to that, where one voice is the sonic.exe voice, and the other is just kind of a faint whisper that you can kind of hear slightly. But that's just a nitpick. I love Thorn. Thorn's music is awesome. Like, all the skins are pretty awesome. I know people are saying, like, oh, he doesn't have a lot of great skins besides, like, Ultimate and Thorn. He did just release, and personally, I really like recolors. I mean, not every recolor in Pillar Chase is great, honestly. There's a lot that I feel like you could just slightly tweak the color of and they look a lot better. But PCX's recolors are really nice. They're very good looking. I don't really have much else to say on it. I guess another nitpick I have is Thorn's voice lines are kind of hard to decipher. A lot of other noises are kind of overbearing compared to her voice, so you can't really tell what she's even saying. Maybe this is just me. Again, these are just nitpicks. These aren't big things. I just wanted to note them while I'm here. I guess some other things I want to note. Rosemary's rework, I don't really have any opinions on. I haven't played it for myself, and I haven't really played against anyone in it in the game. I mean, I played the test version, but that's about it. But she seems fine. When I tested her, she seemed a lot more natural to play. She felt very clunky before, but now she feels a lot more natural and, like, polished, you know. Springtrap's rework, I don't even really want to call it a rework, because all they really did was just add another ability to him. Because now not only is he the monster where he's the monster who out-staminas people, he now has an extremely powerful long-range attack. Like, the axe throw does 50 damage, it goes fast as hell, I'm pretty sure it reaches across, like, entire maps. I'm not saying they should make it like a shitty axe throw, but my problem is the fact that he has 3 just regular abilities. Like, the reason Inkfell and Uncle Samsonite have 3 abilities is because they have very complicated kits. They have very complicated, like, movesets. I mean, Sam's 3rd ability is just so he can go to his domain. And if Inkfell, you know, he has Portal Creation, and then he has Portal Destruction, and then he just has 1 regular, like, little dash ability. It makes sense. It does not make sense for Springtrap to just have 3 completely unrelated abilities. It's almost like they refuse to get rid of either Ventilation Error or Phantom Step or Phantom Walk or whatever it's called. But honestly, just get rid of one of them and he'll be fine. Like, it would be perfectly balanced if you just got rid of Ventilation Error, because I don't think anyone likes Ventilation Error. Like, yeah, it doesn't drain your stamina anymore, but it's just like, now it's basically like Rosemary's whole blinding stamina drain thing, but without the stamina drain, and it's just annoying. Because your screen is constantly flashing, and there's annoying noises, and it just speeds up. It's not very interesting. Phantom Step is interesting because it doubles as so many things. It's a very strong ability tool, your only ability to see people, you know, to highlight people, and you collide with someone while you're in it, you give them a stats effect where you deal more damage against them. It's a very complex, I really like Phantom Step. I like fighting against it. It's interesting. Ventilation Error is not interesting. It's just annoying. I think it would just be better if they just got rid of Ventilation Error and just, like, I don't know, maybe buff Phantom Step a bit if needed, which I don't think it's needed, but who knows. That's really all my thoughts. The Christmas event is cool, the skins are really good, but that's really about it.